Well, after that quick goal, that was quite a response, you guys. Must have been pretty happy with that response.
Yeah, I wasn't worried about the goal. I mean, that was just was a shot. It wasn't like a colossal set of errors that set it off. So, something we talked about before the game is that our group has been through a lot, and certainly we knew their back was going to be against the wall and they were going to come out with everything. But I think February 20th, we were in 6th place and we were sitting outside the playoffs. Our back's been against the wall for 2.5 months, and our guys have been playing like that and growing this confidence in big moments that you have to live through. So the response after the first goal didn't surprise me at all.
What was, if you describe the emotion you felt when that one ends and you guys move on to the conference finals?
Just incredibly proud. Love coaching here, and I love this team. Love what they've been fighting to be about and what they've become over the course of the year. Because it wasn't this success for this group wasn't preordained. They've had to work to become the group we are, and guys have had to grow their games. The young kids have had to grow their games. Mason Yapst had to ascend to be a first line center. Davies had to ascend to being the number one shutdown defenseman. Just all of those things. Just incredibly proud. It's first division championship in 20 years, I believe. Is what I've been told. That's certainly mindset is we're not done yet, but at the same point in time, that'll be a banner that goes up there that this group earned together that stays forever.
You talked about how it wasn't a straight line this year, but even in the playoffs, I mean, it was pretty bleak. The second game in Syracuse, you have no shots on goal in a period or down in that series 0-2. What has happened in these 6 games to really transform this team, personality-wise and performance and everything?
I thought we were really good in game 1 in Syracuse, and I thought we were pretty darn good in the second and third period of game 2, and we just didn't come out in the right score. And I do think that our coaching staff and our leadership group was on the same page in terms of the path forward. I think we gave the players solutions, things we could do better. I texted our captains that night on the bus ride home, and I just said, we will win this series. And that was my text to Mersch, Malone, and Proud. Keep the guys together, and we'll map out a path forward. But I had full faith that we had the group that could dig in and win this series. I sent that probably 45 minutes after the game on the bus.
To scoring, I mean, at some point you almost expected to kind of dry up. Are you at all surprised that the guys have kept coming in waves and that depth has gone from one series to the other, I guess? Yeah,
no, I mean, it has. Am I surprised? I mean, not totally, because we've been seeing it come for most of the second half of the year. So now, do you expect to score this many goals always? No. That's we made a lot of really good plays in this series, like some high-end goals. But I'm not surprised at our depth of scoring. I think that we always believed at the beginning of the year, our coaching staff, that this is what we need to evolve into, is be a team that would score by committee and roll 4 lines over the wall, because we didn't, on paper, you're looking at, you're like, probably don't have a 70, 80, 90 point guy. We probably don't have a couple guys that are just going to put the team on their back and go get offense for you all the time. You believe that the Mershes and the Malones and the Murrays and Beersies and guys like that could get 40, 50, but we believe that we needed to be by committee, and we've coached to be by committee all year long.
As wins
continue to happen, it just, a lot of teams have really gone on a roll. This team just seems ultra confident right now.
Just trying to win one game. Like, seriously, that has been since down 0-2. That's been the talk. And that's what I said to him, down 0-2. Just don't have to worry about trying to win 3 in a row. Just win one. Just win a game. And that's what we talked about this week. We didn't talk about closing the series out ever. We talked about doing everything we could in our 2 days of preparation leading up to today to put us in the best position to just try to win one hockey game.
a few teams that look so confident playing one game.
You focus on what's in front of you. It's amazing what you can get done.
A couple of 3-goal leads, they cut it to 2. Yeah. I looked over the one time and you're telling your team to relax in the third period as they had waves and waves on you. What was the response, and what did you like what you saw from your bench at those moments to never let it get closer than 2?
I thought we were better with the situation than we were in Syracuse, certainly. We still aren't good enough at it. I thought Subi was excellent in the third period. When we needed him to be, he was excellent. And like he has been for a great majority of the season. I still thought there was times we played. The difference tonight, which I liked though, was in Syracuse, it was just passive. Let's just try to hold on. Tonight wasn't that. It was at times a little hyper, at times running around a little bit, but it wasn't from trying to sit back. We were definitely still trying to attack, which was a real positive step in the right direction. But I still think we can learn from this experience in terms of the execution. Syracuse was sitting back tonight. There's still moments of poor execution because of probably trying to do two people's jobs instead of just doing your own job at a high level.
Would you prefer Kozak doesn't get that going at the end of the second period?
Probably, yeah, probably. But at the same point in time, as a coach, I don't like to coach that out of kids either. And he's a pretty special competitor. And when you have that, you want to harness it. You want to teach him when to use it properly. But, you got to be real careful to not take away people's greatest strengths as well.
For a bunch of those guys ended up in conference finals in the NHL by 06 and 07. Just how transformative can this experience be for some of your guys, never knowing what's going to happen in the future, but how much can they carry this for their whole career?
Yeah, these are important moments. I mean, this is what we've been talking about. This is what Kevin challenged me with, 2.5, 3 years ago when he hired me. And this is what Jason and I and Kevin talk about all the time, trying to create environment here that is just a really engaging, challenging, competitive, but uplifting environment where players, prospects can develop, but we can also win, because winning is part of development. And you can't win at the expense of your prospects, but we're not. But it is part of development. You look at, Tampa Bay has been the best team in the NHL for most of the last decade. A lot of those guys won in Norfolk, or had good runs, deep runs in Syracuse. And these are important experiences. I thought there was a calmness to Quinn and Peterka and Krebs down the stretch of the season this year. They've played in pressure-packed games, with elimination games, back against the wall games, those types of things. They're just invaluable experiences that you cannot fake and you can't replicate them. You have to live them. You have to go through them, and you fail and succeed with them, and then you try to grow with them. So that's our goal. But we got a lot of work left to do. We got a lot of work here. We obviously still a lot of work through our organization, but we're certainly proud of where we're at in comparison to where we were.
It's pretty impressive.
Kulik and Roseanne have been able to deliver as often as they have in this moment.
Yes.
Why? What is it about them? Like what kind of makes that, what's allowed them to step forward?
They're great kids. They are. They're great kids. They want to be great players, but they also want to be great teammates. And they're great, really good friends to each other. They're competitive with each other, but they're really supportive and great friends with each other. Kulik, as I've talked about, watched those first two games and then was able to hit the ground running. So that's impressive. But what Roseanne had to go through and be able to process that and talk through that with us, and then be able to go out and attack in game 3 and then keep attacking since, it is incredibly impressive at his age, because he was poor in those first two games and probably playing on his heels instead of on his toes. And Syracuse is physical. That's a hard team to play. So what those young men have done is very impressive. What Isak overcame is very, very sharp.
Did you get an explanation as to what happened? What did you see on that play?
It was in. It was in. Yeah. Our video guy, we radioed just to make sure, and it was in. Yeah. I don't think they necessarily maybe the goal judge or they didn't see it all the way, but we had confirmation before the puck dropped that it was in the net.
Look at Yuri Cooley comes back healthy now. I mean, did you anticipate him being able to score a goal a game through these playoffs?
I don't think you anticipate anybody being able to score a goal a game in the playoffs, right? That's hard to do for anybody at any level, men at his age. But did I anticipate him being good? Yes. Look at his second half of the season. Look at the numbers he's put up and how well he's played since the World Juniors, as his game has grown, as his habits have grown. So, and then look at how he's performed, how he performed at the under 18 World Championships, how he performed at the World Juniors at Christmas. The bright lights don't scare him, not at all. His game usually rises the more the temperature rises.
Those two guys. Go ahead. Sorry, games like this, the veterans, you always expect the veterans to step up. When you see Rusek back checking, knocking plays away, you see Roseanne throw the body, mixing it up. You see Cyrequest forechecking, pounding everybody who watches. You see those young guys kind of take that sort of veteran leap like that in these games. What's it like for you to see?
Yeah, it's fun as a coach, as a coaching staff, to see how assertive our young players played in a big game like this. Elimination game, crowd, pressure, all of that. And there, there's mistakes. There's always mistakes, and that's okay. But we did have an attacking mindset, and the young players really had an attacking mindset, which was awesome. And you're dead on Rusek. His defensive game today, I thought, was excellent. Excellent.
I know you've only seen virtually twice all year. In March, what were your takeaways from that year?
No, they're the best team in the Eastern Conference. Now that we had two fabulous games. We lost 2-1 in a great game in their building. And then we came back and beat them coming from behind in overtime in our building. So both games were fabulous. But I did feel both times we played them that they're the best team in the Eastern Conference. They got a really good team. They're older. They're deep. Really good coach. Todd Nelson's won in this league a long time. So we know we'll have our hands full. We'll get to that here in the next couple of days, but we're excited for the opportunity.
With 2 minutes left, 10,000 fans chanting sweep. How did it feel to be able to get this done at home?
I didn't like them chanting that with 2 minutes left. To be perfectly honest, I didn't like it at all. As soon as I heard it, I looked at the clock. I was like, "You son of a," at that point, I was like, "We got a lot of hockey left." But to do this at home in front of this crowd, what a crowd! The energy was electric. It was special. It was special to play here in front of them. So we're really appreciative of the way this city has embraced this team.
You've talked before about it's not this team. This isn't the group that hasn't gone X number of years without winning, but pretty obvious the crowd has wanted winning for
100%. And we respect playing here. Like, our guys love being Amerks, the young guys on their way up, but also the older guys. Like, the guys take a lot of pride in that. Something we talk about, taking a lot of pride in the crest, and they love it here. And we appreciate the fan base, and we know it's been a long time for them. So I don't want to put that pressure on our guys, because our guys don't deserve that pressure. That's not them. Weren't part of some of the past failures or whatever it is. So, but at the same point in time, if we can do some of the things we've done and give this fan base something they haven't seen in a couple decades, that we're happy to be able to do that for them. Sue? Patrick?
Yeah, Seth, just one question. You talk about playing the game in front of you, playing the shift in front of you, and that's great in concept, but, with young players, it's easier said than done. How have your players been able to actually execute that and make that happen?
I think the consistency of the messaging from our coaching staff, myself right through the assistants, but also our leaders. That's how Michael Mersch lives every day. Ethan Prow, Sean Malone, Larry Pilot, the guys like that are our leadership core. That's how they attack every day. And so I think when you're a young player like a Kulik or Roseanne or whatever it is, and you look up on our locker room, whether it's up at the coaching staff or the leadership core, they see a group that is completely connected with one another. And the same things that I'm saying are similar things that Mersch's saying in his own words. And it's not rehearsed. It's just what we believe. We've hand selected a lot of these guys to be here for that reason. because we wanted culture drivers that would show our young players the right way to go about their business.